there is a big debate which keeps going on in our country, which talks about MBA after experience, work experience, or MBA just after graduation. So, considering the current scenario, what do you think is the right way to do it?
So I think अब तो क्वेश्चन ये होना चाहिए कि एमबीए करना भी है कि नहीं करना.
मुझे ऐसा भी याद है कि हमने ट्वेल्थ के बाद एक ग्रेजुएशन के लिए स्टूडेंट को भेजा था बल्गेरिया में। और उनके पेरेंट्स इतने ज़्यादा एंशियस थे बिकॉज वो उनको ना हम सिम नहीं दे पा रहे थे कि मतलब दे वांटेड कि उनको एक पास मिले जो बस का पास होता है वहाँ पे शायद ट्रैवल करने के लिए, एंड देन वहाँ का सिम, वहाँ पे स्टे, अकोमोडेशन एंड ऑल दैट। तो एक चीज़ मिस आउट थी उस पूरे पैकेज में से। दैट वाज आल्सो मेकिंग इंडियन पेरेंट्स सो एंशियस। सो आई कैन अंडरस्टैंड कि अगर अकोमोडेशन ही नहीं है, हाउ दैट विल लीड टू in our scenario.
25 startups were selected for a 2-week incubator program in IIM Ahmedabad.
Wow.
So we were fortunate enough कि
Mhm.
हम उसमें select हुए, and we spent 2 weeks in that incubation program. And वहाँ पे actually our horizons were open. I mean, we were वहाँ जाके लगा कि कहाँ से लोग आए हुए थे, अलग-अलग startups थे, and they were thinking, differently. And then we actually opened the horizons कि हाँ यार ये तो global play है. It's not only खाली Indian students को ज़रूरत है खाली accommodation ढूंढने की. There are different nationalities, there are different students. Everybody will have the same problem. So हमने फिर उसको scale करना शुरू करा. हमने वहाँ पे हमें हमारे first mentor मिले. And I think that is very important that you need to have one mentor.
Like to give any rough numbers of how many students you were able to help till now?
Till now, we have able to help over 80,000 students successfully, able to accommodate them.
Hello, everyone. Today we have co-founder and chief operating officer of University Living, who will take us to the journey of starting a startup and scaling it to 120 countries. Welcome, Mayank. Thank you for so much for being here.
Thank you, Jyoti, for having me.
Great. So शुरू से शुरू करते हैं मैन। आपने 2011 में when you did your MBA from UK, was there a problem you faced yourself because of which you started University Living?
Yes, it was one of the very interesting story I would say. So when I graduated in 2006, I started my career from a BPO industry. And मैंने वहाँ पे 3.5 years I worked. Grew up as a manager, taking care of one of the vertical. So then I was thinking to upgrade myself, and then I decided to do MBA from UK. So in 2010, I went to Northampton to do my masters, and so बहुत limited information थी.
Hmm.
I was completely dependent on my counselor who got
Hmm.
my the admission in Northampton University. So it was very late in the session to begin for the admission. तो बहुत लास्ट मोमेंट सारी चीज़ें हो रही थी एंड आई वाज वेटिंग फॉर वीज़ा. नहीं पता था कि मिलेगा कि नहीं मिलेगा. एंड suddenly I got a call from the Bessie that my passport is ready for collection. So that was a wonderful feeling that I had that successfully got the visa for UK.
Wow.
फिर मेरे पास खाली 10 दिन थे टू रीच टू नॉर्थहैम्पटन. एंड बिकॉज वीज़ा आना था कि नहीं, मैं डायलेमा में था, तो मैंने कुछ भी प्रिपरेशन नहीं करी थी. सो द मोमेंट आई गॉट द वीज़ा, इमिडिएटली किक वर्क में रहूँगा कहाँ पे. And first thing I called to my counselor ke how where I'm going to live. So counselor ने casually बोला आपको यूनिवर्सिटी हेल्प कर देगी. एंड मैंने कहा कि आप कनेक्ट कराओ whom I need to get my accommodation sorted. And it was in January time, and got a very cold email from the department that आप आ जाओ and we'll figure it out. And I was like, I don't have any concrete thing that I can rely on.
So you didn't
So
even know how where to, I mean, after where to go after you land.
yeah, yes,
Oh,
yes.
oh.
And simultaneously, I was taking help network में where my business partner, co-founder Saurabh,
Mhm,
he went to Nottingham for his exchange program. So I took help and advice from him. So because he went to Nottingham, I was going to Northampton, so there was hardly any those connects. Somewhere the other was able to figure it out. Okay, I can book some kind of a PG in advance, and because it was so last minute and social media was very limited. So I thought I didn't get any confirmation, so I just went
mhm.
and landed in London in evening. And I dialed the number which I got, from the university and from that place which I booked, and nobody answered. It was went to voicemail. So I like up kya kare? And 7 in the evening, don't know what to do with 62 kilos of luggage in the hand.
Oh
It
God.
it was it was it was very scary.
Hmm.
एंड मैंने यूनिवर्सिटी को भी बोला था कि मुझे कैब बुक कर देना, बट देयर वाज नोबडी. सो इट वाज सो बैड. सो मैंने फिर फिगर आउट किया. एयरपोर्ट पे पूछा मैं पहले नॉर्थहैम्पटन कैसे पहुंचूं. एंड दे सेड कि यू कैन टेक अ टैक्सी. एंड आई सेड कितना, हाउ मच इट गोना कॉस्ट. दे सेड गोना कॉस्ट समवेयर अराउंड £200. एंड मैं तब कैश ही खाली £500 लेके गया था. एंड आई हैव टू सर्वाइव फॉर लॉन्ग. सो लाइक ये तो ऑप्शन नहीं है. सो आई देन आई वेंट टू इंफॉर्मेशन डेस्क. उन्होंने कहा बस जाती है,
Hmm.
बट जो लास्ट बस है वो 7:15 निकलती है. यू गॉट ओनली 15 minutes. यू हैव टू रश टू द नियरेस्ट स्टेशन. एंड फिर मैंने कहा कितना टाइम लगेगा उसको पहुंचने. उन्होंने कहा इट गोइंग टू टेक 3 hours. सो आई सेड कि मैं यहाँ से शायद मैं पकड़ भी लूँ और
Hmm.
पहुंच जाऊँ वहाँ पे, बट रात के 10 बजे होंगे. वहां जाके क्या करूँ.
Hmm.
So I thought it's better to stay at airport in the night. So I spend
So you
the
stayed, oh, I mean, after traveling from India, you stayed at the airport. Oh, that's scary.
yes. So I stayed at the airport at that night, and उस पे फिर मैंने सारी इन्फॉर्मेशन ली कि नेक्स्ट अर्ली मॉर्निंग कौन सी बस होगी क्या होगी. एटलीस्ट आई
Mhm,
वाज रियलाइज
mhm,
कि मॉर्निंग में still I can figure out the things.
mhm, mhm,
So this is how the journey started. It was a very painful and scary
mhm,
moment in the life. But I think one thing was I was okay, I could figure it out. So when I reached Northampton, stayed in that house which I booked, but turned out to be a typical Brit cold couple where things were very, I mean, very, very a culture shock for me. So, early morning you have to wake up. They were giving dinners at 6 p.m. So couldn't adjust, at the initial days. So I think this is how the journey started. And it was not only me, and when I talked to so many people who reached there, some or the other, everybody was struggling to find a safe and secure accommodation from their home country.
Oh, and that's how we got university living.
Yes.
So before we move towards, to know more about university living, मेरा एक question था. Since you completed your graduation in 2006 and after that you worked for 3.5 years and then you feel like now it's time that I want to go for further studies and in your case MBA. So there is a big debate which keeps going on in our country, which talks about MBA after experience, work experience, or MBA just after graduation. So considering the current scenario, what do you think is the right way to do it? Because our channel is more about MBA and we get a lot of such questions every day.
राइट. सो आई थिंक अब तो क्वेश्चन ये होना चाहिए कि एमबीए करना भी है कि नहीं करना.
That's true.
So at that stage, at that time, even I also initially thought after graduation के एमबीए कर लेना चाहिए.
Hmm.
But the real value which I see is कि when you get some experience,
Mhm.
in the corporate life, you
Mm-hmm.
get to know, how things operate. You get to know how things work.
Mm-hmm.
And I was lucky enough at that point of time. I joined a startup. It was Quattro Global Solutions. एंड मैं वो 3 साल में देखा कि कैसे एक कम बीपीओ सेक्टर ने ग्रो करके दे हैड अ फुल बिल्डिंग ऑपरेटेड ओवर 1,000 एम्प्लॉयज. सो सो विदाउट getting that experience, if you go and do MBA, I mean it's all become bookish. And when you have some work experience, and when you attend those lectures, when you solve those case studies, you actually could relate, and you become more participative in your lectures, in the debates, in discussions, that what kind of problem you were facing when while you were working. So I think it make more sense when you get some experience to do some specialization after that, because then you relate more and then you become more specialized in that sector. एंड टू बी मोर स्पेसिफिक, आज के टाइम पे करना चाहिए कि नहीं, आई थिंक इट्स स्टिल डिबेटेबल, because the kind of exposure you get working in
Mm-hmm.
startups or early stage companies, I'm not sure how much now the MBA program delivers, but I think the curriculum also is evolving very fast these days, and they are also more focused on more practical knowledge and more live case studies to work with.
हाँ। वैसे क्वेश्चन है आजकल बहुत ज्यादा पूछते हैं यंग करियर प्रोफेशनल्स के एमबीए करना भी चाहिए कि नहीं करना चाहिए, क्वेश्चंस है। पर उसमें थोड़ा सा नेविगेशन आ गया। मैंने देखा कि पहले पीपल वर वेरी क्लियर दैट दे वांट टू गो इनटू रेगुलर एमबीए ओनली, बट नाउ आफ्टर वर्किंग फॉर 2-3 इयर्स जो अनसर्टेनिटी वो बहुत और ज्यादा बढ़ जाती है, उनकी अपॉर्चुनिटी कॉस्ट भी बढ़ जाती है। सो फिर देन दे ट्राई टू नेविगेट इट टू एग्जीक्यूटिव एमबीएज, ऑनलाइन एमबीएज ऑल्सो इन आर केसेस। मुझे ऐसा भी याद है कि हमने 12th के बाद एक ग्रेजुएशन के लिए स्टूडेंट को भेजा था बल्गेरिया में, मे बी यूनिवर्सिटी ऑफ बल्गेरिया और सम यूनिवर्सिटी। और उनके पेरेंट्स इतने ज्यादा एंशियस थे बिकॉज वो उनको ना हम सिम नहीं दे पा रहे थे, जो वहां पे अरेंजमेंट होगा कि मतलब दे वांटेड कि उनको एक पास मिले जो बस का पास होता है वहां पे शायद ट्रैवल करने के लिए, एंड देन वहां का सिम, वहां का स्टे, अकोमोडेशन एंड ऑल दैट। तो एक चीज मिस आउट थी उस पूरे पैकेज में से, दैट वाज आल्सो मेकिंग इंडियन पेरेंट्स सो एंशियस। सो आई कैन अंडरस्टैंड कि अगर अकोमोडेशन ही नहीं है, हाउ दैट विल लीड टू इन आवर सिनेरियो। सो नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन मैं मेरे माइंड में था कि जब आप इनिशियल स्टेज होगा, जब यूनिवर्सिटी लिविंग का आपने स्टार्ट किया था, तो मुझे जानना था कि उस टाइम पे आपकी कैसे चैलेंजेस रहे, क्योंकि स्पेशली व्हेन वी सी पीपल डोंट स्टिक टू देयर फर्स्ट स्टार्टअप फॉर सो लॉन्ग, either they fail or they it gets acquired or something like that. In most of the cases we see that this is the second startup or third startup which they stay with. So कुछ तो है ऐसा जिससे आपने बहुत सक्सेसफुली नेविगेट किए वो इनिशियल चैलेंजेस, या ट्रस्ट बहुत स्ट्रांग था? अगर आप कुछ इनिशियल फेज के बारे में बताएं तो।
Sure. So I think सबसे बड़ा जो problem we were solving is to find a safe and secure accommodation abroad. And बहुत niche segment था, because we both founders went through the pain of finding safe and secure accommodation. So we thought कि इसको अपने network के through, because we were alumni, we were getting lot of random connections request कि यार वहाँ जा रहे हैं, how we gonna book our accommodation, what is the way around. So we thought, why not to have a normal listing platform and start recommending students. So वहाँ से start हुआ, and focus was के to create that value, because हम भी जिस पेन से we went through, we wanted to ensure that कि कोई और स्टूडेंट को ये प्रॉब्लम ना फेस हो. So our objective was clear, how we want to ease the journey for the students who are traveling abroad. एंड वहाँ से स्टार्ट हुआ. एंड हमने नहीं उस टाइम पे कभी सोचा था कि इट विल स्केल टू दिस दिस लेवल. वी वर फोकस्ड ऑन केयर, जो भी स्टूडेंट आ रहा है, इंक्वायरी आ रही है, हाउ वी आर क्रिएटिंग वैल्यू फॉर देम. एंड धीरे धीरे करके वी वर इन्वेस्टिंग इन पीपल, वी वर इन्वेस्टिंग इन टेक्नोलॉजी. एंड हमारे लिए सबसे बड़ा आई ओपनर था इन 2000, आई थिंक इट वाज 17. we were selected in Power of Idea contest. So it was a initiative ran by Economic Times, and वो पूरे इंडिया के startup ideas को they were inviting, and they received over 2,000 3,000 applications. And initially at the first stage, 500 applicants were selected. We were supposed to give a 2 minute pitch, and we were selected among that. And फिर एक और राउंड हुआ तो था कि 75 startups were selected for a 2 week incubator program in IIM Ahmedabad.
वाह।
So we were fortunate enough कि हम उसमें select हुए, and we spent 2 weeks in that incubation program. And वहाँ पे actually our horizons were open. I mean, we were वहाँ जाके लगा कि कहाँ कहाँ से लोग आए हुए थे, अलग अलग startups थे, and they were thinking, differently. And then we actually opened our horizons कि हाँ यार ये तो global play है. It's not only खाली Indian students को जरूरत है खाली accommodation ढूंढने की. There are different nationalities, there are different students. Everybody will have the same problem. So हमने फिर उसको स्केल करना शुरू करा. हमने वहाँ पे हमें हमारे फर्स्ट मेंटर मिले. And I think that is very important, that you need to have one mentor, at least, to start with, that can give you the right advice, who can guide you at the right, junction, right stage of your company, that where, you always need to validate few things, you need directions. So I think we were fortunate that we got our first mentor during that time, and that's how, we scaled that up.
Oh, so from 2017 onwards, that scaling came in the picture.
हाँ, सो हमने अपने कुछ चीजें हमने बहुत बेसिक स्टार्ट करी हुई थी कि वी
Mm-hmm.
वांट टू रन अ प्रॉफिटेबल बिजनेस. we
Mm-hmm.
we want to ensure that, we are not, we initially we didn't had any funding, so it was all bootstrapped. So we were, every penny which we were spending, we were ensuring that, there is enough revenue, that is, we are earning to run the sustainable, business. So this is how, we've been scaling that up, and we started with UK market first. We replicated the same model in Australia, then
So how
Ireland.
did you manage the logistics? Like these are completely different regions.
यस. सो एक तो पहले यूके इसलिए स्टार्ट किया कि हम दोनों ने वहां से पढ़ाई करी थी, तो देवर, आर कनेक्शंस,
रिलेटेबिलिटी है, हाँ।
हाँ रिलेटेबिलिटी थी, एंड नेटवर्क बना हुआ था.
हम्म।
एंड वहाँ पे फिर, when we scaled the UK, and we were focusing a asset class called PBSA, which is purpose built student accommodation. So
ओके।
these accommodations are specifically built and designed for students. They take care of the safety, security, all bills are inclusive, there are no hidden cost, and managed by professional companies. So we were, we onboarded them first. And this was at earlier days, it was more even fleet on fleet. We were traveling, to these countries to meet them, and to get on board them. And from later part of the years with technology, we've been able to integrate the systems, and scale that to all geographies.
Wow. Any would you like to give any rough numbers of how many students you were able to help till now?
Till now, we have able to help over 80,000 students successfully, able to accommodate them. Um,
Wow,
so
that's
yeah.
big. Congratulations.
Thank you.
So, because we interact with a lot of Gen Zs also, and somebody who has got 2 years, 4 years, 5 years of work experience, so they have this, playbook in their mind or the steps in their mind, which talks about I'm gonna have a big idea, do a startup, and before, I mean, in the initial stage of startup is going to go for the fundraising, and then I'm gonna get the funds, then the sky will be even more blue and life will be flowery और सब कुछ सेट है और बाद में दे फील लाइक दे सेल इट एंड ऑल्सो ऑन. अभी तो इनिशियल सोच ऐसी होती है. तो फंड रेजिंग को लेके ना बहुत ही ज्यादा एक्साइटिंग वर्ल्ड लगता है सबको. बट क्योंकि आपने वो स्टेप बाय स्टेप उसको जिया है, तो अगर आप मतलब if you can tell us how difficult it is or how easy it is, or what were you learning, what should they know, so that they come prepared. I mean the one those who are going to enter in this fundraising journey now.
श्योर सो हमारी बहुत इंटरेस्टिंग जर्नी रही है फंड्स को लेके आई थिंक इट वाज challenging to raise the capital to a certain extent. However, हमने अपने principles बहुत strong रखे हुए थे that we want to run a profitable business. So, but funding is always required to, when you want to scale, you want to grow fast. So, in 2018, we raised a seed round with IENs and Let's Venture of 4 crores. So initially, I think for people who who start and they look for funds, there are a lot of these days, a lot of angels around. There've been a lot of companies also help to pitch your ideas into a lot of forums, a lot of platforms. So now because of the information is quite readily available, so I don't think that there will be a challenge to pitch the idea in front of the prospective investors these days. Earlier back days there was a challenge. There was a challenge that was limited information. You can reach out to only limited platforms, but things have drastically changed and evolved year on year. So for any startup, any young entrepreneur who wants to raise funds, I mean these informations are available. They need to reach out. They need to prepare their business plan, and if the idea has a merit, if there is a working model that's there, I think people secure their funding. But my advice would be that funding is not should be the North Star matrix. It is your business idea, that your revenue model and your target segment that you are targeting is the main play. And if पहले बहुत सारे उस टाइम पे आई थिंक इन 2015 16 17 18 काइंड ऑफ years prototype पे भी you used to get funding and ideas maybe, but now things have changed drastically. People needs to see that have you gained the tractions, have you scaled to that certain numbers or certain revenues. So I think these are the things that people should keep in mind. It's just not only about idea, it's now the execution. Idea तो अब चैट जीपीटी भी देता है, and but it's
सही बात है।
more about now the execution play.
तो अगर सो ठीक है, सो वन थिंग रूल्ड आउट दैट यू विल गेट फंडिंग जस्ट ऑन योर आइडिया पार्ट, सेकंड थिंग इज यू विल हैव टू डू द एग्जीक्यूशन, शो द पास रिकॉर्ड, शो द ट्रैक्शन, शो द नंबर्स दैट योर आइडिया वर्क्स, एंड देन यू कैन गो फॉर इट। सो व्हाट इज द, आई मीन व्हाट, हाउ डू यू थिंक कि इतने टाइम तक तो रन करना ही चाहिए खुद से, उसके बाद दे शुड रीच आउट टू, लाइक, बिकॉज यू हैव बीन हैविंग एक्सपीरियंस फॉर सो मेनी इयर्स नाउ।
See, I think there's no such thumb rule that you
हम्म।
have to work for 1 month, 3 months, or 6 months. It's
हम्म।
about when you are ready and you are confident. If you have started working on certain idea and you have executed and you have started gaining traction, and if you are confident that yes, my idea is a merit, it is this is big problem I'm solving, you should start preparing and you should start be there out in the market, because there's no deadline like or no thumb rule that अरे 3 मंथ हो गए तो मुझे अब जाना चाहिए, 6 मंथ्स हो गए अब जाना चाहिए, 1 साल हो गया अब जाना चाहिए. It is about the confidence that they, and plus the kind of business you are the revenue you are generating. I think that should be the benchmark.
Okay, so these are the three questions they need to ask themselves before, I mean, just to summarize your answer. So first is they need to ask themselves, do they have enough numbers जो कि prove करते हैं that business idea has merit, execution होना चाहिए। दूसरा क्वेश्चन उनको अपने आप से पूछना है कि अब क्या उनके अंदर वो कॉन्फिडेंस आ चुका है that they are very clear about how they are going to spend that money which they are looking to raise. I guess these are the two things you want the entrepreneurs to ask themselves before they reach out to anybody. Otherwise, you
Correct,
said कि
correct.
अब क्योंकि जमाना बदल चुका है, तो there are a lot of doors where they can actually knock for the things like fundraising or mentorship. तो mentorship पहले they should look for and then fundraise. I mean, that's how you feel is the right way to do it.
I think yes, that was our journey and quite relatable.
Mm-hmm.
That it adds really value, but it's not again a thumb rule that you should have a mentor first and then you can go out. But at initial level, I personally believe, that is my opinion, that there should be someone who could give you the direction, how to navigate things. Is it the right direction that you're taking or not? It creates value to the profile. Plus, if you're getting into the right direction and there is a mentor to help, why not to take that approach?
True, true. Got it. I also saw on your LinkedIn that you have got into two new firms. One was Uninest, and the other one was a student living or
And then,
tenant
so
living. So, would you like to share more about those and how this meets what we are doing at University Living?
sure, sure. So I'll just give a full brief about University Living.
Mhm.
So University Living is a managed marketplace which help students from all across the globe to find their safe and secure accommodation. So University Living is also asset light model, where we are a marketplace which lists the property from budgeted to premium accommodation. And the coverage that we are in over 640 cities all across the globe, covering over 5,000 universities with over 65,000 properties. And these are all verified properties that is listed on our platform. So, and from covering from US to New Zealand. So all the major destinations of the globe, such as US, Canada, UK, Ireland, Australia, New Zealand, and in Europe, Germany, France, Italy, Spain, Portugal, Dubai, and Singapore. So these are the destinations we are covering.
Mhm.
So we realized that only not international student
Mhm.
need accommodation during the COVID time when things were, completely stopped. Traveling was completely stopped. We focused on the local, our destination domestic market. So
Mhm.
somebody who's traveling within UK from London to Glasgow or from Birmingham to Scotland, uh, Birmingham to Cardiff. These were the students also using our platform. So 35% of the students in the destination domestic market is using our platform. So these are the kind of diversity that we help students, and with the one objective that we are a one-stop shop solution post admission services. So once the student get to know that he or she is traveling or will be studying in this university, then our platform comes in, and they can discover, compare, and book their university accommodation. Plus, we are helping students with their flight tickets, with their airport pickups, guarantor services, remittance, insurance, SIM, all these services,
The
a
entire
student.
package of post admission.
Yes,
Okay.
post admission. So, talking about our other business verticals, so because we've been helping students for so long, so sorry, in 2023, by we were discovering, and we were doing the brainstorming that how we can more expand, how we can launch new services or value addition to our students. So the kind of accommodation we were doing under University Living is long term, medium to long term accommodation. Somebody who is going to UK, they need to book for 44 weeks or 52 weeks. Somebody who is going to Australia, they book for 6 months or 12 months. So for UK, because it was our main market, we saw that there are a lot of students who look for flexible contracts. They come for semester, they come for exchange program, they come for summer school. So there we launched a company called Unionist. It is a joint venture where we took the rooms on our books, and we were slicing and dicing the tenancies to the students, giving flexibility to the students. So it is more like a OYO model where
हम्म।
student want to book
बिकॉज
for one
इरास्मस,
semester.
समर स्कूल्स, ये सब तो बड़े
Yes,
पॉपुलर है फॉर।
exactly for UK. So we were covering all those Erasmus, summer schools, exchange programs, students, and that's how we launch this unionist model, and that help us to increase our margins, because when you're giving the short term tenancies, you increase the prices. And with student tenant, because there were a lot of local domestic students we were catering to in UK. These students stay in private apartments. They make friends. They stay in two, three as a group, or 3 to 5 people as a group in one apartment. So student tenant was solving this problem, because in PBSA, 20-25% students stays in PBSA. Around 20% of the students stays university halls. The remaining stays in this unorganized market. And and with student tenant, we want to make this vertical organized, these accommodation organized, and cater to these local domestic students.
Understood. Understood. Clear. Now, where
Mhm.
this, what is the TG of university living? What is the TG of the other two? Thanks. So my last question is, since India is also, huge geographically and culturally, so, somebody who is coming from north to south, south to, maybe west or all those places,
Mhm.
they also, might need such support. So have you ever tried in India market, or you were very clear कि Indian to Indian के लिए तो नहीं होगा? Like, what's your feeling about it?
Good question. We tried, we thought about it, and we tried also. Before pandemic, we launched our Indian operations too. But we realized that with India right now, it's not very organized. There were hardly any organized player in the market. At that point of time, Stanza just started. There were few others platform that were in the space of providing, focused on the students and providing more value accommodation to these students. So we tried, and then we realized that I think it's not the right time to be focused on India, because of regulations, and the policies are not that strong or favor of of the student accommodation vertical. So I think now when we are seeing that a lot of international universities campuses are having a presence in India,
Mm.
now I think this sector is going to have the potential to launch in India market as well.
Yeah, so Deacon is the first one, I guess, after NEP, started its magic. So
Hmm.
looks like Indian market is not yet ready, wasn't ready. Let's see how it, evolves in next few years. Thank you so much for these insightful, discussions. और जो आपने, I think no layer uncovered करके हमने उसको धीरे धीरे समझा, how it started and how was your experience and so on. So beautiful, amazing experience.
Thank you. Thank you.